What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Russian River Brewing Company, and they're out of both Santa Rosa and Windsor, California, and this is their Mind Circus. So they're calling this one a Hazy IPA that comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, this can is just under 2 months old. Let me give a huge thanks, shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Billy, for this beer. So huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Billy hooked me up with. And he hooked me up with 7 different Russian River beers that are really well known compared to their Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger, Blind Pig, and a lot of their wild ales and whatnot. He gave me some off the beaten path, and this is one of them. So I assumed they did a hazy IPA, if not numerous hazy IPAs, but I never heard of any of them. And when I saw this in the box, I was like, Hazy IPA from Russian River, sign me up. So I found one place that listed the hops in here. I believe there are Nelson Sauvin and Strata hops. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure those are the 2 hops in here. And outside of that, just under 2 months old. Hopefully it's held up quite well. We will see though. So let's crack this one open and get it into the treehouse glass because I had to go with a classic hazy IPA producer. So let's see how hazy this beer is. Yeah, so it has a nice haze to it. Definitely looking hazy. So I'm curious to see what Russian River does with a hazy IPA. I mean, their West Coast IPAs are just fantastic. Just like their Mosaic Stack, which I just reviewed. Oh, that smells awesome. Like I just got a whiff of it. Wow, that smelled awesome. So, man, it's going to look more on camera, but that is one of the most vibrant looking hazies I've seen. It has this glowing, almost neon orange color. I guarantee on my shitty camera that you're not going to see this, but this looks fat. It looks like sunshine in glass. It's very hazy. It's opaque. Like you can't even see through it. It's so turbid. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that looks beautiful. Sunshine in glass, I would say. Just over a finger of a bright, super bright white soap. A lot of times I like to say soap sudsy, but I say sup sudsy, and there are a bunch of other variations. Yeah, but soap sudsy looking head. Honestly, that looks way better than I anticipated. I don't know why I had any preconceived notions about how this beer was going to look, but like, it just looks fantastic in the glass. Again, probably going to look shittier on camera, but it is what it is. Let's get a nose. Yeah, that's what I was getting with that the first whiff. I'm getting huge, like, juicy orange. Juicy tangerine, dare I say tangelo. But I'm getting like a kind of like a sweet candied berry. Now with Strata, a lot of folks say strawberry. It's rare that I get straight up strawberry with Strata. I've gotten it before, but a lot of times it's just like a mixed berry or like a more like a raspberry or nondescript red berry. But this is like candied, like a candied red berry that I wouldn't necessarily specify as strawberry. That Nelson, little bit of like a white wine more so than white grapes. But yeah, that juicy citrus component is fantastic. It's a little bit of like a dank herbaceousness with a floral tinge from the hops as well. I'm getting a little bit of like the base malt. It's crackery. It's biscuity. It's making my mouth water. Honestly, this smells pretty fucking good. Yeah, I'm digging the nose. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Billy. Nose is definitely better, but I would say the taste is good. The taste is definitely good. The nose, though, spectacular. It was. The taste, a little bit dark. This, how do I say this without sounding negative towards this beer? This tastes like an upper echelon. God, do I say that? I'm just going to say it, whatever. You hate what I say, you post in comments, tell me I'm an idiot, but you already know this. I'm not smart. Not a smart man, but this honestly, let me take another taste and then I'll say it. Then I'll say it. Yeah, I feel good saying this. Again, personal opinion. Okay, so this is what I think of a 2 tastes. This to me reminds me of an upper echelon shelfy hazy IPA from your Stones, from your Bells, those breweries, right? Like upper echelon, I'm saying like upper echelon of what those breweries produce. But that's what this tastes like. It has nuances. It has some of the characteristics that you'd expect from a true hazy IPA, New England IPA. but it doesn't quite hit the level for me. And now keep in mind, this is just under 2 months old, so it's not super fresh. Billy's time to me it was probably about 6 weeks old, 5.5, 6 weeks old. It may be fresher, this is better, but that's kind of what I'm getting from this. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of those shelfy IPAs, like the Stone Hazy IPA, I thought was really fucking good. For something you can just, grab off the shelf pretty much in most states wherever Stone gets distro. That's pretty fucking good. This is pretty fucking good. Is it amazing? It's not. But I enjoy it. So here's where a lot of those beers, like the shelfy IPAs from some of the bigger craft breweries, kind of lose me in terms of like nailing the style. The body and the mouthfeel is not as good and luscious as like a lot of people like Treehouse, right? You got Treehouse. I got the Treehouse logo here. People nowadays are going crazy with like let's talk about some of the hype breweries like Fidens, Troon, where 3 people can get your hands on Troon. But you got Fidens, you got Troon, the EQs, the other halves, the Hop Butchers, the Treehouses. Who else is killing it? Hey, there's so many good hazy producers at this point, right? You got a lot of West Coast breweries doing haze well, like Monkish, for instance, where they kind of nail the style, despite not being straight from like the New England area, is that they nail the body of mouthfeel. This body of mouthfeel, a little bit lacking. Buying this is like lower side of medium at 7%, it's a bit thin. And the mouthfeel, it is soft, I'll give them that. It's like not overly carbonated, it's like mild to moderately carbonated, but it doesn't have that smooth, creamy essence you kind of want from the style. So it loses me a little bit there. The taste is nice though. It has that juicy orange definitely carried over. So that crackery, biscuity kind of malt character is underlying, omnipresent. But the main thing I get here is a lot of citrus. I get, again, navel orange, tangelo, tangerine. It's juicy citrus fruits, 100%. First thing that hits me. I even get like a little bit of lemon lime, very slight. As it passes through, I get more of a stone fruit, like an underripened like white peach, maybe a mango. Not really getting the berry. I was talking about a mixed red berry, like a red berry a candied red berry almost in the nose, not really carrying over. No berry to really speak of in the taste. The Nelson is there, and that hits me halfway through the palate. It has a white wine kind of essence to it, maybe a slight white, like a tannic white grape. And then it finishes with a floral, herbaceous, kind of slight dank quality. This is, let's say, semi-dry on the finish and mildly bitter. So I think they did a good job with the finish. I think overall as a whole, this beer is pretty balanced. It doesn't lean too sweet. Like some hazies can be just sickly sweet. It's not too dry. It doesn't have a huge bitterness. The style, you shouldn't have a huge bitterness, right? So I think stylistically for the balance of this beer, it's pretty good. I do like the flavors of the, of the fruits, the juiciness here. 7%, I can't tell. It's just the body and the mouthfeel are a bit lacking. And overall, here's the thing. It's a good, well-made hazy IPA, upper echelon as far as like a shelfy IPA would go. But this is not something that is like amazing to my palate. Now, if I drank this maybe 2 days old, maybe it's a whole different story. I don't know. So here's a question I'll have for people out there. Have you had this one before? If you have, how fresh was your can? And what did you think about it? Because I think this is damn good. That's the thing. Like all the stuff I'm saying it might sound negative as I'm saying it, but I'm just trying to let you know that this, to me, does not touch upper echelon, regular, hazy/New England IPAs. It just doesn't. There's nothing wrong with that. Russian River can brew fucking amazing beer. So, I mean, their American porter was fantastic. The Mosaic Stack, really damn good. Pliny the Elder, one of my favorite West Coast beers, period. So, they do great stuff. This beer specifically just isn't resonating with me as much as I hope it would. But it's still pretty fucking good. So all of that complaining and whining and comparisons and stuff for a rating that's still going to be pretty damn solid. So Mind Circus Hazy IPA from Russian River, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. That's where it lands. Like I'm pretty sure that's where I gave I think I gave Stone's Hazy IPA in that realm for sure. Maybe Bell's Hazy IPA wasn't too far off, but like this beer is pretty damn good for a hazy IPA. It's just not world class. It's just not upper echelon. It's an upper. If this was in, say, a Stone can or in a Bell's can, I'm trying to think of even like Great Lakes by me in Cleveland. If they released this, I'd be happy with it because it'd be a shelfy beer where the price point would be, for like a 6-pack would be, whatever, $12, something like that. $2 for a 12-ounce can. I'm pretty sure this is more expensive than that, but this is where hopefully Billy and anyone else comes in. What's the price point for this? I would, right now, based on what I'm drinking, I would not want to pay more than like $4 for that can, hands down. It's California though, and I know it's Russian River, so I would not be surprised if this is in the $5 a can range. This is a beer I'd like to try super fresh, for sure. But outside of that, I probably wouldn't pick. Like if I went to Russian River after having what I've had so far from them, this would be at the lower end of what I want to pick up. I would definitely want to pick up Pliny the Elder, Blind Pig, Supplication, Consecration, Mosaic Stack, their Porter. There's a lot of beers from them I pick up before I pick up this, without question. But it's still pretty fucking good for a hazy IPA. It's just not amazing. And like I said, availability with Russian River, pretty sure. I don't think this is brewery only. I think it gets slight distro outside of the brewery. I think you can probably get it maybe in California in certain areas, maybe even like, you know, other places out west, maybe Southwest Arizona, maybe up into the Pacific Northwest. I don't know. If anybody knows, post in the comment section. Again, that's the thing. When a beer like this doesn't like blow me away, but I still give it a good score, I just have to let you know how I'm feeling about this beer. And when I say this is upper echelon shelfy IPA, what I'm saying is it's still pretty damn good. It's just not touching, you know, some of the better beers I've had from Treehouse or Fights or Other Half or whatever the case may be. It's just not to that level. But is this better than I expected from Russian River though for the style? No, I think this is probably right in the wheelhouse of what I kind of expected as far as the style goes. But I don't know. I have more from them than I'm going to try. I can't wait to get into those. Huge thanks to Billy for these beers. Regardless of what I think about a beer, when somebody sends me a beer away, I'm appreciative of just being able to try the beer, regardless of my final thoughts on the beer. So even if this was a 2 out of 5, I'd still thank you, Billy, from the bottom of my heart for this beer. Can't wait to get into the other 4 beers I have from them. There's a Hoppy Blonde Ale. What else do I have from Hoppy Blonde Ale? Oh, the Pilsner. Can't wait to get in the Pilsner. A couple others. So anyway, huge thanks to Billy. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Like I said, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. I'm sure I'll get a comment where people just say I'm an idiot, but you know what? I am, and I will not argue that. Till the next one. Cheers.